It's the fall time and the bite stinks, but here are 3 ways to catch more fish. That should be a fish. I knew it. I knew it. That was a good looking spot too. Gosh, nice one. Another giant. Another giant. Look at that, y'all. I can't believe what I just caught. Yes! Now, fishing this time of the year can be incredibly tough, and so if you live down south, I would say there's a summer to late summer to extremely late summer to winter transition. We really don't have a fall. Now, if you're a northern viewer, I don't want you to tune out. This video is also for you, but I'm going to explain 3 ways in which I think you can maximize your fishing efficiency during this incredibly tough time of the year that is the fall transition. Honestly, Texas, the late summer. And whether you fish ponds or lakes, this video I think is going to help you guys, so make sure you stay tuned. Today's video is brought to you by Yeti. Let's get a drink and catch one for ourselves first. I've got a fish. I've got a fish. Oh my goodness. I did not even feel that bite. Wow, buddy. You are a rinker-dinker. I neither saw nor heard that bite on the black pad perch, but I got one. And it feels so good to get the skunk out of the boat. There we go. Got one on the swim jig. I was just thinking, man, if they're not gonna eat a buzz frog up top, and the first fish I catch is on a slower moving topwater frog, a swim jig makes sense. There's one. Yes, sir. Outside edge of the tree. Oh, uh-oh. Little squirt on the frog. Oh yeah, but I tell you what though, I love it. Don't gotta be in Minnesota to hit him with a oh yeah, bud. Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, that's why I got aluminum. All right, well, I think I'm gonna have to slow down today because every time I throw something fast or big or loud, I don't get a bite. And in bass fishing, do not ignore patterns. And I'm noticing a pattern already with this morning's bite. So slow and steady while covering water, but slow and steady will win today's race. Ooh, what a skip, come on. That deserves something. Skapoosh. 3, 2, 1, pow. Wow, lame, lame, lame. That should be a fish. I knew it. I knew it. That was a good looking spot too. Gosh, nice one. Nice one. Not a big one, but a nice river chunk. Get in here. Oh my goodness. That's a fatty. That is not skinny. I like me a little bit of fish that size. Good grief. Look at how he ate the pad perch absolutely down at the gullet roof of the mouth. Got to get an Instagram story of that. Let's pop the hook out. Beautiful, beautiful fish. I'm talking like 16-incher that weighs 2¼ pounds. Nice one. Honestly, maybe 2½. I called that. I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm forcing the top water to happen. I think the swim jig is a lot more likely to get more bites. Now, before we get back to the fish catching, of which I hope there's tons after this section, I want to talk about my top 3 tips that probably nobody is talking about when it comes to fall fishing, especially if you have access to lakes, reservoirs, creeks, that kind of thing, because I think those hold the secret to fall fishing, at least consistent fall catching, I should say. And if you don't have creeks, there's still something you can learn from today's video. And I guess I kind of let the cat out of the bag on tip number 1, and that is you want to fish areas, rivers, creeks kind of included, but areas in general that the fish I've already been there, because especially on big lakes, something that takes place throughout the bass life cycle throughout the year, from winter to pre-spawn to spawn to post-spawn, summer and fall, is the fish move up and down. They move left and right. They go from shallow, rocky, sandy flats to spawn, and then they go feed on bluegills. Then they move offshore to brush piles, rock piles, ledges. It can get very confusing. So especially on a lake like I'm on today, it has a huge, gigantic offshore area, but then it's got some small rivers and tributaries that feed into the lake. And so how do you choose where to fish? Well, in the springtime, fish are practically biting everywhere besides, mega out deep. But if you're fishing shallow, relatively easy shoreline targets, stuff that you can see, especially on forward facing or on side scan shallow, fish are gonna be in those areas. But when it comes to the post-spawn, the summer, and the early fall, oftentimes those fish that have moved out have seen every lure under the sun. They have seen those lures 17 times. The oxygen levels in your ponds and lakes are lower, and so the fish tend to go where the most oxygen is, which of course spreads those fish out. It could be ultra deep on some lakes, could be ultra shallow. There's just so much change that happens during this time of the year, and that's why I'm fishing in this location today, because these fish can't go nowhere. I am multiple miles up this creek right now, and so the likelihood of fish moving from where they are here, where they're born, all the way out to the main lake to do their summertime and then come back here in the fall is just so low, and I proved that this morning. Some of these fish are what's called resident fish. That means their residency, their home, is here in the river. It's here in the creek, and they never leave. And so when it comes to changing conditions, big fall time cold fronts, the water thermocline flipping, which basically takes the oxygenated levels and flips it to the top and flips the non-oxygen to the bottom, or vice versa, I probably got that wrong. And with all that in the fall comes bad water quality, bad water clarity, and the fish are just confused. So go someplace the conditions affect them a whole lot less, because in the river, there's probably not much, if at all, of a thermocline water flip. A massive northern fall cold front with winds blowing 30 miles an hour. I mean, look at the river. It's 30 yards across. A wind can't really affect this. And so I just think these fish, while yes, they're going to be affected some by the conditions, especially barometric pressure changes and a little bit of wind and cold weather, are just far more immune from the craziness of the fall than the fish on the main lake are. I can guarantee you that if I was to fish the main lake in the same time period I spent fishing before I sat down to talk to you guys, I would have caught maybe one fish, and if I got lucky and I knew a whole bunch of spots, which again, this is a brand new river to me, I've never been here before, I'm just fishing what looks good, I have spots down there. Okay, maybe I could have caught 5 of the same quality fish, but the likelihood, in my opinion, in my anecdotal experience, is so much less likely. And so that's why in the fall, in my kayak, in walking the bank, and in the now jet boat and bass boat, I want to fish areas where the fish are just more immune from the fall conditions. And for me, that is up creeks and up rivers. Is your chance of catching a giant still better out in a brush pile or off on a deep grass edge? Absolutely. But oftentimes in the fall, it's like a hero or zero type thing where you either catch 1 or 2 giant fish or you catch nothing at all, or you can hedge your bets and say, you know what, I'm going to go someplace where I'm probably not going to catch many big ones, but I'm just going to get bit and have a good time to get myself through this bad time of the year until at least the bait fish start moving and fish in general get shallower and get more aggressive. I'm going to go in a river as opposed to the main lake and be fine catching 5 to 10 2-pounders as opposed to maybe catching a 6+ down here in Texas, but more than likely getting skunked. So that is tip number 1. Now, you may be watching this video saying, Tyler, that all sounds great, but I don't actually have access to fish anything like what you're describing. I don't live around big reservoirs, and the ones I do maybe don't have tributaries or small creeks. How can I actually implement what you're talking about? Well, to be honest, you really can't, but I've got a video for exactly you guys coming soon to the channel talking about fishing kind of generic, boring ponds, and I'm going to cater a few of those tips to the fall time, so make sure you don't go anywhere. But I would say tips 2, 3, and surprise, bonus tip number 4 are going to apply to you guys more than one, and that is, in the fall, I tend to throw lures that are either really big, aka big swim baits and big worms, or lures that are really small, like a Ned rig and a finesse flippin' jig. And the main reason why I go big and small as opposed to lures in the middle, although I do throw them, don't hear me wrong, the fall is a time of the year where a lot of stuff can work. But I've just found, again, with so many people throwing a thunder cricket or a vibrating jig, throwing a spinnerbait, throwing a 5-inch stick bait, the fish have seen a gajillion of those. I don't think it's a coincidence why a lot of pro tournaments in the late summer to fall time are won on big swim baits, and they are won on tiny, tiny drop shot baits, especially the last 2 years. I'd say a lot of smallmouth tournaments are won on the dice category. And so if you're just trying to get a dang bite, I would recommend going small. But I'm telling you guys, I've filmed, I think, parts of 3 different scaled up episodes that are going to come out over the next 3 months, and you're going to see my increased confidence because I've been forced in that series to throw big swim baits. Specifically, I believe it's episode 7 is going to have this one right in it right here, the throwback Wake Walker LT. My confidence in big baits is sky high now because of the series, and I'm telling you, even shallow fall time fish you wouldn't think eat a big bait do. So if that series hasn't been enough to convince you to throw big swim baits, make this video that reason. And tip number 3 in the 2 lures that I have associated with that today are you want to cover water. Now, by describing these 2 right here, a 3/8 ounce swim jig and the new Buzz Minnow from Strike King or Rage Minnow. You're probably saying, Tyler, these are normal size lures. You just told me to go big and small. Well, you could throw the Wake Walker LT. That could be your big moving bait, wake bait type of deal. But regardless, the fish in the fall, even in a river, now they're going to be a little more resident, as in like a tree is going to be a fish's favorite tree, or a bank line is probably always going to have a certain number of fish on it. But in general, you want to cover water, and that is where I throw lures like these. But you'll notice something about these too. They're a little bit quieter than your average moving bait. So a swim jig is totally silent in the water. I mean, maybe the tiny boot tail I have on here makes some kind of noise, but really, as compared to a spinnerbait, as compared to a crankbait like a lipless or a hybrid hunter, especially as compared to a vibrating jig, it is much, much more silent. I've just found, unless you have really dirty water and wind, especially clear water and slightly, I'd say more grass-filled areas, a swim jig can absolutely get bit, especially around lily pads. If you've got lily pads this fall in your pond or lake, get you a dang swim jig, especially this one being the jackpot jig, my new favorite. But if you missed the video, I'll link it down below. I have grown to love this bait right here. I believe it's called the Buzz Minnow, whatever, it'll be down in the video description. It is just a perfect mix, a perfect combination between a plopper and a topwater frog. And buzz toads have not really been a new category. I mean, they've been around for a long time, but the noise this one makes in the water is fantastic. And if you missed my vlog throwing this thing for the first time, you missed out on an awesome video. And like I said, I will leave that linked down below. So regardless of if I'm in a river or a pond, I am fishing relatively fast to start, even if it's with a big swim bait. So the Throwback Metro, the new Strike King glide bait, the Hogfather Jr. I'm throwing big things or small things, or sometimes medium things, over a lot of water to cover that water, especially in the early morning time period. Now, that was 3 tips. I've got one more, and that concerns the time I just talked about, and that is the early morning. And for years, I've told you guys how crucial that early morning time is, especially any time after the post spawn, just to almost guarantee yourself putting your lure in front of a bass and not going home skunked. I have said the biggest key I have is to get out there early and take advantage of the low light time period everywhere up shallow, but also once you have shade lines that are created by the early morning sun, those areas become ultra a high percentage to catch a bass. And if you get out there in the summertime and early fall, oftentimes after 9:30 or 10 o'clock in the morning, especially the afternoon, it can be really tough. But I would say, little secret here, once the fall truly starts to come, the early morning time period is not as crucial to get out there for. Am I still going to get up or attempt to get up out of bed? Yes, I am, and get there before sunrise, just in case the bite was going to be really brutal in the afternoon and I can at least catch some in the morning. As a YouTuber, I have to catch fish on camera. I'm going to guarantee myself the most bite windows possible, so I'm still going to get out there. But I guarantee you, even though I took advantage and caught, 5 or 6 this morning on shallow moving things and top waters, and I think 1 or 2 on a swim jig, I'm going to go back through all the same water I fished, flipping a big worm. Again, bigger worms are better than average size worms for me this time of year, and the finesse flip and jig, the Outcast Tackle Cage Fighter. I'm going to fish those 2 things back down this way, and I guarantee you I'm going to at least get some bites because I have figured out the type of shade lines, the type of areas those fish want to be in, and I just don't think during this time of the year, even though it's still hot here in Texas, that I'm only going to catch them during the early morning time period. If you sleep in a little bit, it's probably okay. So that is surprise tip number 4. Now, like I said, today's episode is proudly brought to you by Yeti coolers. Honestly, I can't believe I'm sponsored by Yeti. This is like a dream come true for a Texas boy, especially born in Austin. Yeti's an awesome company, and they have made, honestly, my life really easy in the jet boat with the Loadout Gear, no, what is it? I was close. Loadout Go Box 30 gear case. And I've been a big proponent of a camera bag for a long time, but in this boat specifically, I just found that if I have a camera bag out, there's not a whole lot of, first of all, waterproof space. I have 2 compartments up front and then a little bit of space underneath the console back there, and so keeping my cameras waterproof is ultra important, and I just can't do that easily with all the tackle I have in this boat. And so I wanted a box that I could use, and this thing, when I first got it, I thought, man, it's cool, but can I really use it for camera gear and for snacks and for water? The answer is yes. As y'all know, everything Yeti makes is incredibly durable. These latches here on the front snap and unsnap super easily, but what's important to me is what's on the inside. So here we have a removable pouch on the top that I've kept in here. I have kept batteries, I've kept audio accessories. My DJI mic is in here. I like having one big pocket behind and then two right here. Taylor and I on the Minnesota trip I just took, put our wallets in here, we put our keys in here, and then down here is where I've kept all my camera gear. So this removable tray that can go on either side of the Go Box, I have kept unused batteries and used batteries in different compartments here on the top for both GoPro and Sony. It's allowed me to keep my organization super good. The camera you're watching on right now has been sitting underneath the removable tray on a towel that I put down there just to give it some extra cushion. And then my drone controller and my drone have been on this side with one of their food compartments here that I've got beef jerky in. And I am nowhere near even filling this thing. I mean, I could fit like 3 more cameras, another drone, a bunch of batteries, more snacks. But having this loadout box has made my life incredibly easy, and it's also added as a sight fishing platform. I've actually put this thing on the front deck, stood on it to make better casts and be able to see what's out there. And so just like your standard cooler, Yeti is not just building stuff that keeps your drinks cold, but can actually allow you to have a better experience on the water. So it's hunting season. If you need a good box with lots of dividers, and of course that is durable and waterproof, check out the Go Box 30. I'll leave it linked below. Huge thanks to Yeti for sponsoring this video, and this half-gallon jug has been legit. Enough chit-chatting. Let's go flip up a fish, huh? Maybe they don't want a swim jig. I don't know. I mean, don't gotta make me throw a frog. I'll do it. Got him. Okay. Maybe I gotta stick to the frog. Nice. Oh, come on. He ate it and swam right at me. I mean, I tried to give him like 2 extra business hook sets and I just couldn't get it in him. Okay, the frog is the way to go until the shade is gone. I tried the swim bait, I tried the swim jig. I just don't think any of those, for whatever reason, are getting the fish to bite like a frog is. Not a giant loss, but wish I would have caught that one. Sometimes they just do crazy things. That was fun, that was cool. Get in here, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I watched him wake out of the tree to come eat it. Oh my goodness. No giants so far today, but just some really fun fish. I mean, look at the way he ate that. I mean, roof of the mouth. And he came from just like the standard looking overhang. Had to make a million casts like this to catch one. Chunky fish though, goodness. If you don't like that, do you have a pulse? But as is expected for these kind of conditions, I have not caught a dang fish in the sun. So this area right here, you see on my chesty, shady, cut bank, probably about 1 foot or 2 deep right off the bank. That's where the fish are right now during this time of the day with the sun coming up. Right there, the sun has hit. Also coincides that that area right there is less steep. It's not really a cut bank, but I probably wouldn't catch any out in the open like this. So I'm just gonna troll on past, or if you're in a kayak, kayak on past. And the next cast I make would not be there or there, it would be underneath there because it's shaded. You might say, Tyler, are the fish really gonna be 15 feet this way instead of that way? Yes, they will. You could miss the cast by 1.5 foot and totally miss the fish. So during these kind of conditions, you have to be ultra precise. And like I said, make sure if a pattern's emerging, you are not blind to it, that you're noticing it and trying to replicate. Oh no. Did I seriously catch a rope? It's a root. No, but I'm not getting that one off. I gotta go in a Yeti. A lot of scary bugs in here. You gotta put it in reverse Terry. Very nice. Ooh, I did not see that wasp nest. Ooh, that right there is something you would not want to bump your trolling motor into. I mean, there's gotta be like 100 on the bottom side of that. Ooh. Gosh, what a skip. Come on. Come on, be there. Be there. Give me a donk. Oh, how's the bite been for you?
I ain't caught a single bass. I caught about a 7-pound grinnell.
A 7-pound grinnell, man. I bet that thing fought.
Oh, it did, man. I mean, I probably caught at least 20 sand bass on this dang thing.
Well, that's good. I think April and May, it's fantastic all over, but it's tough right now. Oh, I've got one. Hey! Oh no! I lost him. I didn't think it was a bass. I thought I had a stick. I pulled up and I was like, huh, it's kind of gummy, but I don't know. Should have set the hook harder, I guess. And that fish as well came underneath an overhanging cut bank. Now, cut banks are different all around the country. A lot of my smallmouth videos you've seen in both rivers and, or sorry, in both the kayak and in the jet boat. I've caught them on cut banks. It's a huge thing in rivers. This river has absolutely no shortage of cut banks, but a lot of them are really kind of, I mean, the same. Like it's just a bunch of overhanging roots with the dirt that's washed out underneath them. There's not like a 5-yard stretch that looks better than the rest. So I had to make a lot of casts to just get the 3 bites I have in the half hour I've been flipping. And I'm not gonna eliminate outside trees like this here. I'm sure a bigger one's gonna sit on something like that, but as of now, my bites have come on the cut. And also, I would just like to point out, he had live scope, hadn't caught a fish. I'm going scopeless, I caught him. It's not always the live scope. If it was Randy, that guy would have been smoking him. Oh, man, I can't lie, this bite is tough. Like I've gotten a few nibbles here in the last hour, but I am glad I got here in the morning. I know I said it wasn't that important, but at least today it was somewhat important. When I'm filming this, it is nowhere near like full-blown fall here in Texas. I mean, I'm sweating right now, and it's 10:30. I think I got a punch now. Find the right evolution box. This is my terminal one here. As always, code TRF 2025 saves you 20% on your entire evolution fishing order. They've got tackle boxes like the ballistics trays here that are waterproof. This terminal one is actually molded to the top lid. They've got line solutions for storage. They've got tackle bags for ponds. Y'all have seen me use the largemouth 3.0 bags, both the sling pack and the main backpack in my 200 pond series. And they are a faithful sponsor of this channel. So if you're in the mood to get some new tackle boxes, tackle bags, make sure you check them out and use that code. Black and blue scound bug rigged up on a 1-ounce punch rig. And you may ask, Tyler, why are you doing that? You were flipping trees the whole time. Well, I've kind of made my way back closer to the main lake where they have some good old-fashioned grass of 3 different varieties. We have American pondweed, we have lily pads, and most of all, milfoil sticking off the edges. As you can see from the drone shot, I'm probably just gonna focus on the grass right on those edges, on those tips, because that's where the deepest water is. I'm not even sure if it's deep enough way up there for a canopy to even form. Yeah, my bait has no room underneath there. I can feel it. So if the bass are gonna be anywhere, they're gonna be on the edge. And if I catch nothing here, I'm gonna wish I had stayed back in the trees. But you know what? We hadn't tried punching yet today, and it wasn't like fishing a jig and a worm along overhanging trees was working that good anyways. But I'll tell you what, if I can just get one punching bite, just hear that braid noise, oh, my day will be complete. I'm losing hope. I feel like I would have got a bite in the first 150 yards if there was going to be a fish here. Probably should have stayed in the trees. Oh, I should go home. And you know what, folks? I think that is what I'm going to do. Go home. Because even though I discussed the afternoon bite still being good in the fall, I don't think we're in the fall yet here in Texas. So if you're north of Missouri, this video, when it comes out, probably applies to you. You can still catch them in the afternoon, but man, around here, we got to get a few more cold fronts. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. As always, my tackle is linked below for my frog combo. I've been enjoying the custom, the brand new one with Paramag braking system, and the custom light rod 7-1 heavy. And of course, even though I didn't land one on it, my favorite skipping roll casting combo, the 6.9 Lew's Signature Series heavy, the Andy Montgomery special with the Pro SP reel and some 20-pound Seaguar and VizX. Hey, surprise phone cam. My big camera got so hot that it died. But as always, it's a pleasure to make these videos for you guys. Be kind to somebody today. If you want to watch my last episode here in the jet boat, a fun river adventure, that'll be clickable up here in this corner. And we'll see y'all next time right here on TRF.